Hi everyone. I was just gonna wait a couple more minutes, but it's already 6:02 p.m. my time, so that's 8:02 p.m. Eastern time. So I guess we can get going, right? So maybe we're gonna have more people to join the class pretty shortly. So hi everyone, welcome to Salesforce CPQ Training with Black Force. Um, I'm not going to do much of an introduction as many of you attended the Salesforce admin consulting class and you guys already know me. However, for the sake of those who are new, I'm Olu Samuel and I function as a senior Salesforce consultant in a Commerce Cloud environment and also a Salesforce Marketing Cloud solution architect in a business loyalty environment. One of the projects, which I'm not going to mention the name. You guys that might have seen the ads out there. It's a common ad out there right now. That's one of the projects like my company worked on. So I do leverage some of my CPQ skills in the Commerce Cloud space because currently I'm functioning in Commerce Cloud as well. So I do leverage some of my CPQ skills. So CPQ is actually a very good skills to have because you might not necessarily be working in the CPQ environment, but like I just said, right? I never knew that my CPQ skills would be valuable in Commerce Cloud. And by the way, Commerce Cloud is also another big thing, right? It's also another big thing. So I have worked on different CPQ projects in recent times, and I'm happy to be here delivering this session today. Giving back to the ecosystem. So our learning objectives, sorry, I'm just going to put my phone away. Just 1 second, please, because I do get like distracted with it. So here's our learning objectives, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, Black Force, I wanted to have this program for 3 weeks. As you guys know, I wanted to do my drawings. I wanted to, break it down as much as I could. But Black Force is going to be shutting down this, the end of this court would be end of this month, right? So unfortunately, I didn't get that 2 weeks, but it's okay because I was going to do Monday to Thursday for 3 weeks and an hour and a half. But now it's been switched over to Monday to Friday, 2 hours, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, 6 to 8 p.m. My time. So hopefully we're going to be able to, I might reduce some of my drawings and things like that. And also what I want to do this time around is I already prepared my notes before the class. So I'm not going to be typing. I'm just going to refer to the note. And if you guys want to take screenshots or if you need anything, I'm not going to be typing so we can cut down on some time, doing that, right? But our learning objectives is we're going to be going through the basics of Salesforce CPQ. So we're going to be exploring the Salesforce CPQ architecture, lead to cash process. That's part of the basics. I'm not going to go through lead to cash process because it's something that we already know about. Yeah, sorry, someone is going to say something. Oh, yeah, you can just mute yourself. I think someone is on okay, that's good. Yeah, so I'm not really going to be going through the lead to cash process because we already went through that during the admin class. So you guys know that. When I start talking about it anyway, you guys would understand what I'm talking about. So then we're going to look at the configuration and installation of the package, right? So this includes like installation best practice, like any upgrade or patch installation best practice, package configuration, post installation. We're going to have installation steps and post installation steps. We're going to have a page layout and button configurations. Most of these things you guys know anyway, so that's good. I actually feel like CPQ is easy. CPQ is so easy because you already know how to navigate around the org and you kind of already familiar with some of the objects that we're going to be talking about anyway. So because of that, I think you have an added advantage. Most people out there that I have seen, they don't really have like a Salesforce admin knowledge and things like that. So they tend to struggle a little bit with CPQ. So in that sense, I would say for you guys, CPQ is easy. The only thing about CPQ is there's so many objects, and you guys would see me going back and forth between objects, and at some point in time, it's gonna be too much. You're gonna be like, it's just gonna be so crazy. But I can guarantee you that if you can keep to it, right? If you can stick to this, like, especially those of you guys that already have the experience, you're just gonna feel like, oh, okay, you understand. So it's easy. So don't worry, CPQ is easy. Once we start doing it, you guys would see, right? It's just like it can be like information overload sometimes. Okay, so we gonna go through Salesforce Cloud. So that's lead creation and conversion. I'm not gonna do lead creation and conversion. I'm not going to do account creation because we already know all of that, opportunity creation and stuff like that. So so these are some of the ways that I'm going to buy some time. Okay. I don't want to go into the things that we already know. Okay. So then we're going to start with product configuration. So we have a standalone products, product bundle settings. We have features for a bundle. We have product options for a bundle. We have option constraints for a bundle. We have configuration attributes. So most of these takes a little bit of understanding, but we're going to be going through some requirements. So what I will also want to do is I wanted us to have a project, but because this code is shutting down in 2 weeks' time, the likelihood of having a project is a little bit streamlined. But I would see what I can do if we can have like a project all together, right? I'll see what I can do. But saying that though, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving requirements, like real life requirements, and I'm going to be using kind of similar to what I did with the Salesforce admin class as well. So we're going to be going through different requirements or real life examples, and then we go into the org, and then I'll show you how to do that, right? So that way you understand this stuff. Okay, so we're going to have advanced product configuration settings. So we have nested bundles, dynamic bundles, asset conversion method, option selection layout, code configuration pattern, optional product syncing behavior with opportunity. We're going to look into most of this stuff, okay? And then we're going to go into pricing waterfall. By the time we go into pricing waterfall, we're going to turn the notch up a little bit because then there's even going to be more information. But again, it's pretty much the same. So CPQ, what we're literally doing in CPQ, and the reason why I kind of like CPQ as well is reason why I said it's easy is because you're literally like 70 to 80% of the time working in the front end. Like you do go to the back end, especially if you want to do approval of flows. And most of CPQ flows are not too complex, right? They're just like simple flow and things like that. So one of the reasons I like CPQ is it's simply configuration. Now you guys gotta see it. It's just like click, configuring this, configuring that. So what I'm gonna do is in my notes, I'm gonna give as many notes as as possible, so you guys can actually see. Okay, so the notes is going to be like a cheat sheet in real time. Okay, so let's say you're working on the project in real time, so you can always refer to the notes and say, oh, okay, this is how to do this, because there's so many things to do in CPQ, and sometimes you can just be all over the place. Okay, so pricing waterfall, we're going to have original price. We're going to look into list price, option price. We have a special price, regular price, customer price, partner price, and distributor price. Then we're going to go into product rules. We're going to look at selection of product rules and using lookup queries, validation product rule, alert product rule, filter product rule. We're going to see all of that. They're pretty much easy. By the time we do like 1 or 2 examples, at the beginning, it might feel a little bit but by the time we do like 1 or 2 examples, then you're gonna see like CPQ is just like repeating the same steps over and over. And by the time you work on 2 projects, it's just kind of repeating yourself over and over again. So that way it sticks, right? So we're gonna look at quote templates. So we saw a little bit of that in the admin and consulting class. We're going to look at advanced quote templates, translation, additional document, template document sections, translations, Most of the important stuff I'll try to cover as much as possible. We're going to look at contracts and other management. So that's basically contracts and other management. That's how we're going to look in there. Approval. So we're going to look at package installation and setup. That's pretty much at the we're probably going to start with that today, actually. So we're going to look at approval rule. We're going to look at smart approval, approval conditions, and approver, and custom action. So we're gonna it's just basically custom actions. There's nothing much. Guided selling as well. I like guided selling. We're gonna look into that. We're gonna look again and into discounting. So we have different categories, and in each of those it's further broken down. So we have discount schedule, and in discount schedule we have slab range, well, slab discount, range discount, override discount schedule, and then we have option discount, another category. There's nothing on that one. We have additional quote line discounts. All of this you guys would see, right? Just wanted to touch base real quick. And then we have the percent, amount, unit override, total override, and all those kind of stuff, right? It's I know it's a lot of information right now. So what is CPQ? Yeah. So what exactly is CPQ? And maybe someone can give me like a brief answer in the chat. Like, what is your idea of CPQ, right? I don't want configure price quote. Everybody knows CPQ is, yeah. And just like the name says, configure, everything we're gonna be doing in CPQ with basically doing configurations. That's it. That's all CPQ is all about. It's just like this client needs you to do this, and you're just gonna go into the org, and based on your knowledge and experience, and you're going to configure that. There will be some instances like when the configuration is not out of the box of Salesforce that you can do, or maybe you cannot even achieve that with Flow. Then there we do have CPQ developers as well. Okay, so quick one. I'm just waiting for, is an application to help close deals quick? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. Yeah. That's a good. Yep. That's a very short and nice answer. So CPQ is a sales tool, okay? It's a business software application designed for sales team to structure and scalable sales process. So I'm going to say that again. So it's more like a business software application, and it's designed for a sales team to structure and have a scalable sales process. So CPQ is an extension of Salesforce Revenue Cloud. There is, yeah. So there is what is called Salesforce Revenue Cloud, and CPQ is an extension, or let's just say a module in Salesforce Revenue Cloud. We're gonna see that as well. I have that plan to show you the pricing stuff and things like that. So all of that is on the Salesforce Revenue Cloud. So basically, it helps to sell the right product, combos, and control discounting and automate approvals. Okay, so that's basically what CPQ is about. So the acronym CPQ stands for Configure Price Quote. You guys already know that. And that is what this training is all about. So we're going to be doing a lot of configurations once again. So you guys know, you probably will get bored of configurations, but well, if someone is going to pay you 6 figures for configuring, why not, right? We're going to be doing a lot of configurations, pricing, and quotations. Okay, so the configure part of CPQ, it means creation of products, bundles, discount, price rules, product rules, and everything like that. Okay, so that's what configure means in their CPQ. That's what the C stands for. And the price means the pricing of the product. That's basically what it means, right? So whatever we have configured. So we're going to start with the configuration of products, bundles, discount prices, and all of that. So whatever we have configured, at the configure stage, we price them. So if a product has to be sold to a customer in the market, that product obviously has to have a price. It has to be priced, right? So we have some predefined conditions as well, like discount, like quantity, and for a certain customer, we can say this is an example, right? So we can say if the quantity purchase is more than 10, then apply discount. That's part of the things you can do with CPQ, right? So we can set the quantity-based discount or dollar-based discount. We get to see all of that as well. So if customer is choosing a subscription product for more than 2 years, we can set a price, and we're going to do an example. That's actually a requirement in real time. Okay, so we're going to do an example on that as well. So, and the quote is CPQ is a quotation tool. So the main thing of having a CPQ system is to have a process, or to have a process that helps to make the quotation process fast and easy, right? So quotation contains all the products that the customer wants to purchase from the business. So for example, a customer wants a laptop with 10 gig or 8 gig CPU and things like that, screen solution, backlight, fingerprint, password, all of these things, right? So when the company's sales rep is having a conversation with the customer, once all the requirements is procured, right? So the company's sales rep will add all these products in a piece of paper. That is basically the quotation. The quotation part is not too crazy, so that's good. Along with the product, right? And the discounts and the terms and conditions, damage protection, coverage, insurance, and all these things can be on that quotation document. And also, there are legal entities that act as the face of the organization. So that information will be signed digitally, okay? So CPQ offers this many sections in the code. Like, for example, you can have the logo, the billing. We saw a little bit of this as well. The shipping address. I mean, in the admin and consultant class, we saw a little bit of that. So these can be customized according to the customer's requirement. The goal is to create the code faster. That's the goal. That's the goal of CPQ. So if the quote is not delivered faster, then the business customer might look elsewhere, especially if they're in dire need of their products, right? They're not going to wait for too long before they start looking elsewhere, right? So imagine receiving volumes of orders like 1,000 laptops with different requirements for each laptop. Imagine how difficult the process can be. But with CPQ, you can see everything in a single screen. We get to see all of that. You can imagine having to call the stock guy, right? There's a guy in the stock, and you're calling this guy for products in stock, but the guy doesn't know the pricing, right? So his job is just to maintain the stock availability. But now you have to contact another team member for the price. You can imagine doing all of this, right? That's crazy, and no one has time for that. So, and you can imagine how difficult that can be. So the CPQ system would hold all this information in a single page, and that's the advantage of CPQ. Okay, so it makes it easy to create a quote document. You can add product discounts, can be automated. It saves a whole lot of time. Okay, just as an example. So I went to get a phone line for a family member the other day, and the sales rep mentioned that certain subscription have activation fees and some subscription don't, right? I was like, that is CPQ in my head, right? You guys are going to see that. Immediately they said that, I was like, wow, that's CPQ, right? So you guys are going to see an example of that as well. Okay, so there's so many features in CPQ, and you will still find out in the next days and weeks. Okay, so I'm going to go through some sites that use CPQ. So O2 in the UK, they use CPQ. A1 Group in Austria, they use CPQ. CPQ kind of helps them to generate revenue at a big scale. So they're using CPQ for their telecommunication service product. So, and in the software industry, Zscaler is using CPQ for selling software services, and VodafoneZiggo is a popular client as well. So you guys are going to see that. I'll just show you their sites and stuff like that. Okay. So, and some of the players that we have are people like Aptos CPQ, that is actually built on Salesforce. We have Oracle CPQ, we have Blueprint, we have SAP, CPQ, Panda, we have velocity, not velocity. The one we were talking about earlier is velocity, but we have velocity and then we have Salesforce. Okay. So moving on, let's just do this real quick. Okay. So as a business, right? Because sometimes you can also be a CPQ consultant. It's not all about admin. So you can be a CPQ administrator, or you can be a CPQ consultant or a CPQ developer. Okay. So when to use or consider CPQ. So it depends on the complexity of the business case requirement. So when products or services are complex and have many variants, right? And the current tools kind of bungle up, sometimes maybe they're using Excel and it's just so crazy, right? So for a business dealing with thousands of products with complex pricing, CPQ helps to solve this kind of problem. Okay. Then resources. And these are just examples, okay, like key things to note when to consider using CPQ. So insufficient or slow response times to a quote request and sales proposal, and also lack of business support demand. So let's say if a company's client or customer is asking for a quote and you're doing all of these in a spreadsheet, right? It's tedious. It's a tedious process, and that will increase the time to respond to the customer. And right now, everything in this day is fast, like fast food, fast, 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 right? So CPQ helps with the businesses resources, as they do not need hundreds of sales reps to function. CPQ helps to streamline complex functionalities, okay? And then obviously consistency as well. So different experiences based on what mechanism is used to interact with the business, and also inconsistent data or information depending on the source. So for, let's say if a client has complex requirements and the spreadsheet has many formulas and the pricing depends on various factors, CPQ helps to do the calculation accurately on a consistent basis. So that's one good thing about CPQ. Then let's quickly look at some CPQ advantages. So it helps sales reps to close deals fast, accelerating the sales process, and many sales teams still rely on the use of spreadsheet and email to close deals, right? But with CPQ, it makes it fast and accelerates the process. It also helps to generate fast, affordable results. And by doing that, the sales team can move on to the next deal and not dwell too long on a lengthy process. Okay. You can easily access like key metrics and reports. Yes, this is a part of Salesforce features anyway, so which you can leverage in CPQ as well. So with CPQ, you can customize products. You can customize product services pricing according to the individual customer. Okay. And CPQ is affordable for business and companies. It's well received by many sales team, as it makes their lives easier, right? So it gives company control and visibility over what's being offered or sold. And it puts a stop to unreasonable discounting. We have things like discount schedule, option discount, group level discount, tier-based discount, and so many more, which we're going to see once we get into the org. And then we've seen this already. So this, if you guys remember in the in the admin and consultant training, I went through a slide that I had all this information. I also told you guys that part of that is CPQ as well. Okay. So basically it starts with the campaign to the leads, and there is a lead to cash process. So actually, I might explain the lead to cash process again, but I'm not going to explain how to convert leads to opportunities and things like that, because we already know that. Okay, so I explained this in the admin class, so we'll not spend much time explaining that process so we can maximize our time. So lead to cash process is basically the sales life cycle. So it starts from the campaign to the leads. a lead is converted to an account, contact, and or an opportunity, right? So we can add a product to this opportunity whenever and the thing is, whenever you add a product, you need to add a price book as well. So we have standard price, or we can say standard price book, and then we have the custom price book. Then we generate a code. Okay, all of this we will see in CPQ concept. So we don't need to worry much on this as as we proceed. You guys gonna see all of that. Okay, so the next one is a bit important because this is I think this should be the end of this slide for now, and then we can go into the org and start looking at some stuff. Okay, so this is the Salesforce CPQ data model. Okay, so the main thing about the data model is here, not the previous slide. Okay, the previous slide you actually already understand and have an idea. So the main thing is the data model. So there are renewals and others that we will see in the org. So I'm just sharing the core data models. And this is actually by Salesforce anyway. So I didn't come up with this. This is actually directly from Salesforce. Okay, so well, obviously there's more to this. Okay, there's so many things that we get to see in the org, not just this. 1 second, please. Yeah, so there's so many objects that we get to see in the org. Okay, but this is just the data model that Salesforce shared. I'll just go through that, okay? So once the account is created, you guys already know that. So one account can have, they just put this here. So this, anytime you say that this is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. So an account can have many opportunities. And similarly, one opportunity can have many products, many opportunity products as well. So for example, if you want to buy a car in a car showroom, right? The car in this context is an opportunity product, okay? So just make note of that. So once we're done with creating like the opportunity product, then we need to create a quote, right? So we need to create a code from the opportunity. And once our code is created, we get to see all of that anyway. And all the products from the opportunity are now converted to quote lines. So you guys would see some quote lines, right? Once, if we open like a quote object, then we go to the related tab, you're going to see some quote lines. So those quote lines that you're looking at, they're nothing but opportunity products. They're nothing but the product. It's just saying quote line. So sometimes you would hear people say things like product, you'd hear people say things like opportunity product, or you would hear people say things like quote lines, right? It's the same. So the quote line is actually the products that is coming from the opportunity products. So we also have product categories like subscription product and non-subscription products, right? So subscription products are things like your internet subscription, right? Because probably you, or maybe Amazon Prime or Netflix and things like that. Those are kind of subscription products, right? So once we're done with the quote lines, we generate a quote document, right? And this document is everything you have on the code. So we will have a template of what we need to design, and the product is kind of, the product right here is associated with the price book. We get to see that again. We saw a little bit of that before, and just so you know, a price book is an object, okay, and every product has its own price book. So we can have many price book, but it will depend on the scenario. So products are categorized as standalone products and bundled products. So we're going to see that. So standalone product is, again, you're going to see me talking about standalone later, but so don't worry too much if you don't understand now. But standalone is an independent product, while bundle is a collection of products. Okay, so each product inside a bundle is called options. Okay, we're not going to see that option object here, but that's also another object. So don't worry, you'll see once we get into the org. So once we're done with the quote document, then we create an order. We don't have the order on this page, but once we're done with that code document, then we create an order, and then when the order is activated, then it is converted to a contract. Okay, so once we activate that, it is converted to a contract, and each contract has multiple assets like non-subscription products as well as subscription products. Okay. So once the contract is activated, then we have these assets. Okay. And basically, this is just like a blueprint. So we will see a clearer picture in the org, and we will see all of this in detail in the coming sessions and days, okay, and weeks as well. So that's enough talking on the slide for now. So like I said earlier, one thing about CPQ is easy. However, it has many objects that might take time to understand them all. But once you grasp it, it will become so easy. So don't get overwhelmed, as you will see me. I want to warn you right now, you will see me moving from objects to objects. However, you would soon understand and be able to put the whole puzzle together. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of this. I'll quickly show you this, guys. Okay, so this is A1. This is based in Austria. They're using CPQ, Salesforce CPQ. I happen to know someone that works there as well. O2 Mobile, this is based in the UK. They're using CPQ, Salesforce CPQ to be specific. This is a Z scaler, and they're also using CPQ as well. And we have the these are just examples that I opened earlier, right? So Vodafone Ziggo, they also use CPQ. So I'm gonna close this so I don't have too many tabs open. So if I go back to so this is day one. So this if I have any more notes, I'll come back and add it at the end of today. But I'm guessing that this is all the notes that I want to type out for today, so I don't have to type all of this. Okay. So whenever we're working on CPQ, we have what is called pre-installation steps. So they're pretty simple. We're going to do all of that as well. So basically, we just need to enable content management. Sometimes I think if you have, because we're going to be using a demo org, right? But I think most of the time, if you have a paid license, some of these are kind of enabled. Even I think that some of them might be enabled by the time we go in as well. But it's good to check just to be sure. Okay, so we want to have we want to enable content management, email deliverability, enable order, and also enable chatter as well. And why do we want to enable content management? So content is basically to create, to share, and to manage the content in the org securely, right? So for example, we can manage multiple language versions of our content, and we can share the content across multiple channels as well. So if this wasn't enabled, then the code document cannot be shared with your teammates. So for example, if your customer is in UK, US or France or any of these companies, right? The languages are different. Even we have like US English and UK English, but that's still pretty much almost the same. But if you have a customer in France and you don't have this enabled, then they're not going to be able to read what you're trying to send them, or it's just going to go to them in English and they might not agree with that. Okay. So there's a feature in CPQ that allows you to create code in multiple languages. So if this content management is not enabled, then you cannot enable multiple languages. Okay. So the org language, it's aligned to the country you select when you sign up for the org. Okay. So just to know that. And then, the email deliverability, this is just to receive some system triggered email. Let's say, for example, you deleted something in the org, right? So you will get an email, or if you created or deleted a pick list value, you will get an email saying that, oh, this pick list value has been created, or this pick list value has been deleted in your org, right? Or things like email for successful approvals, so you don't have to keep checking manually for approval or rejection. So you will need to enable the email deliverability to receive this sort of emails and stuff like that, okay? And then enable order. So after created a quote price, we need to create an order. So this is a common one out there. So this is sometimes people create a code, but they don't get an order, right? That's one of the first things you want to check is, was the order enabled in the backend? Okay, so to do this, we just need to have the order created, and we need to enable order in the backend settings. Otherwise, you cannot create any order in the system. And if you want to create an order from your code, then you will need to enable that order. Okay, and then chatter as well. Chatter is pretty. I've seen people enable that, and I've seen people who doesn't enable that, but I think it's best practice to have this enabled as well. Okay, so and so most of you guys might have noticed, but I think Salesforce changed that recently, but I'm not very sure. But in the past, like 6 months ago or thereabout, or like 8 months ago, whenever you sign up for a CPQ org using Salesforce CPQ Trails, like using that link, or whenever you sign up directly with Salesforce, they only give you like 90 days, like 3 months trial of the org, right? I think they might have changed that, because I know that I signed up for an org more than 3 months ago and I'm still using it. So I kind of feel that they have changed that. But let's say if you ever have that issue of limitation, like trial or 90 days, stuff like that, you can just, I was going to show you two ways to do this, right? So you could just go to a developer Salesforce and sign up for a normal, actually, this is the right way to do it. Okay. So sign up for developer.salesforce, using that sign up. And then we're going to install a Steel Brick. So Steel Brick used to own CPQ. Okay. I'll talk about that shortly. Okay. So so we're going to sign up using that. We're going to start doing that right now. Maybe I can just do both of them just to be on the safe side. Let me just quickly log into Trailhead. So let's just I don't need that. So this is the same Trailhead account that I was using for there. So you guys can see if you guys were in the sales for admin and consultant class. So this was the same. So because some of you guys will be like, Olu doesn't have any badges. I do have badges. Okay. This is not my real account. This is what I use for Blackforce training. Okay. So what we can do is, if I just want to open that. So you know what I'm gonna do, so we can buy some time. Maybe I would let you guys use this. Actually, you're gonna do both. That is your assignment. But for the sake of time, I want to show you this part. Okay, I want to show you the other part. This one is easy. So all you just do is sign up for an org, and then you just get like a CPQ org, right? But what I'm doing here is I'm signing up for a normal Salesforce org, and then I'm gonna install Steel Brick in that org. Okay, I'm just thinking, which one should I do? Which one is the one? Okay, yeah. 1 second. I'm glad there are not many chats today, because just so you guys know, I tend not to look at the chat. Okay, I tend not to read the chat and things like that, just because it can be distracting. But today so far is good, so let's keep it that way. All right, so okay, let me show you both just to make it easier. Okay, this one is gonna last longer. Definitely, this one is gonna last longer. The only thing though is, actually, let me show you. It's okay, I'll show you this one, because then I can show you everything that might not come with it as well, right? This one, you might have some pre-installation already configured and things like that, but it's okay. Let's use this one. So if I click on this link, I would say continue. So 1 second. I'm going to use this Blackforce email. Okay. I'll just put I'm gonna say USA for now. You guys would see the reason why I picked USA in probably today or tomorrow, but mm, no, hopefully it's gonna accept that email, and then I can just use CPQ. Hopefully that should be good. Sign me up, right? Let's just check. Okay, so I should get an email or receive an email. So I pretty much I did the same process during the admin class as well. So you guys have an idea of what I'm doing. So can I just delete this stuff? So I know if I get a new email. So let's see. Almost there. Please check your email. Okay. So while we're waiting, so I'm just gonna continue and explain some stuff here. Okay. So if I go back here, this is called manage package. Okay. So manage package is like adding additional functionality to an existing application. So for example, what is the purpose of CPQ manage package, right? If I was to ask you that question, it basically enables us to do the things that we're not able to do in Sales Cloud, but we will be able to achieve that using the CPQ manage package. Okay. So I think it was in 2015. You guys can check that as well. So Salesforce acquired SteelBrick in 2015 and renamed it to Salesforce CPQ. However, till date, there are some APIs that are still under the control of SteelBrick. Okay, so Salesforce will call some functions from SteelBrick to Salesforce. You guys don't need to worry. It's good to have the knowledge. Okay, so if you're having this kind of conversation, you have an idea, okay? So Salesforce would call some functions from SteelBrick to Salesforce, and at the moment, the transition is not yet completed, okay? It's still going on. So if I click on SteelBrick, and I can pretty much explain some things to you guys as well. Let's just check this. Explain some things to you guys as well. Okay, so why is it taking so long? Yeah, shouldn't take. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's here. So it's okay. I'll come back to that. So this is the install steelbrick.com. Okay, this is that website. Okay. So Salesforce CPQ, this is the one you install in the developer org. Okay. So this is the one you install. And then we have Salesforce, Service Cloud for Salesforce CPQ. So if the project is in Service Cloud org, then you can go for this option. Okay. So if the project you're working on is in Service Cloud org, then you can go for this option. Then if you guys can see, we have Salesforce billing. So pay attention here. Okay. So if you notice carefully, Salesforce has the ability, like Salesforce CPQ has the ability to create quotes, orders, contracts, amendments, right? But there's no way to collect payment from the customer for goods and services that you're providing. Okay. So basically, in the quotation, you're showing the prices, discount, final prices, and so much other information like that. But Salesforce billing is used to collect payment from let's say each region. So it's used to collect payment from your customers. Then we have like each region we have different tax rules. So USA is different from Canada and also different from UK and things like that. So we have some other tools like Avalara. So I use Avalara at work. So Avatax is the same, right? So I use Avatax as well. Actually, just today I installed Avalara in a Commerce Cloud. I did some configuration as well in Avatax. I can say Avalara, I can say Avatax is pretty much the same. Okay, so basically, other tax is used to calculate the tax and the revenue management. Okay. So let's say, what is the revenue you had last year? What is the revenue you're achieving this year and the next, right? So these numbers and amounts are taken care in the Salesforce billing. Okay. So these, CPQ. Okay. So billing are extensions to your standard CPQ CRM. So you don't get billing, but it's good to have that knowledge of billing as well. But you don't get billing with just standard Salesforce CPQ. Okay. So this is nothing but Sales Cloud in a way. So we can say that they are an extension of Sales Cloud, just like sales. I think it's field service. Yeah, I think it's field service is an extension of Service Cloud, right? So if I just go on here, so authorize.net for Salesforce billing. So we have CyberSource for Salesforce billing. We have Pay Easy for billing. You might have seen this site. You might have seen like some of the sites as well out there, and maybe sometimes you might have come across a situation where you using like your internet banking to make payment, right? So these are the engine that kind of powers that process. Okay. So whenever you're trying to make like all these secure payment using your bank transactions and things like that, these are kind of some of the engine that powers that process. Okay. So these payment gateways help the payment process to connect with your bank. And I think we have advanced approval as well. So this is an extra, like an approval process, like smart approval. This is part of what we'll be covering in this training as well. So in real time, you ask the client for which user to install this. Okay. So you don't just go and start installing things in the org. So you get clarity. So you need to be specific. So for now, we will install for admins only. Okay. So if I go back to this, if I click on this, so verify my accounts, there's something else that I want to do here. So verify my account. So one second. Sorry. So I'll just pick, what is the name? Which one should I pick? Please remind me in case I forget, okay? So what is the name of your favorite child? So I just picked that, okay? So you guys, because I know some people, no, so about okay for so long. No, I just picked that just make it a little bit of fun. So let's change the password. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here. I like to have this here. So I'm gonna say connect and org. So I don't have to sign in all the time. I can just what is that username? So what I'm doing is easy for you guys because you guys are advanced right now. So let's just see if it's gonna allow me. So allow. Yes, save it. Okay, so now, where is it? This one. Okay, let me just rename it. So I'm just gonna say, oops. What? Okay, so that way immediately I know that that's a CPQ org. Okay, so I'm gonna launch. Okay, and then while I'm gonna go back, we don't need to do much here. So I'm gonna go back to this one right here. So one best practice. So this is the one that we're gonna be using. So which one is the latest one? So this is the so yeah, so that's the latest one. Okay, so in real time, so pay attention, guys. So in real time, best practice is to install in Sandbox before production org. Okay, always install the latest as well. And why is that? Because let's say for example, you installed like summer 2022 as an example. Okay, and in a situation where you're having some issues, Salesforce will not provide any support. So make note of that, okay? So they will refer you to install the latest version. So if there is a latest version, you will see an upgrade button somewhere here, okay? I think it's just next to this. It's just going to be on this page, okay? So let's say you're already using Summer 2022, and then you came here, you're just going to see like an upgrade button. So you just click on that upgrade button, okay? So let me quickly... So for our situation, though, we're not using Sandbox, okay? Because we don't have a Sandbox org. We're using like a production, but there's something else that I wanted to show you guys. 1 second. So if I click on, that's the CPQ, yeah. So that's the right one. Okay, so if I go here, okay, so if I log in, let's just make sure we're doing this correctly. So remind me later. We're gonna install for admins only. Install. Yeah, let's just check. Yep. Continue. Okay. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna quickly explain something before we proceed. So if I just if I open this in a new tab and also open this for you guys. Okay. So I was talking about pricing and billing and stuff like that, okay? So this is recently they changed this because there used to be a price here, but I think they changed it now, okay? So what you need to do is you might want to go through this, but I do have a, where is it? I do have this document here that's probably better than that one. So we can just go through. Is it this one? Sorry, 1 second. No, not even this one. No. Oh, man. Oh, 1 second, please. I have a document that I wanted to show you guys. So let me see if I can find it. 1 second. Okay. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll share that with you. I think I have another document that I want to share with you guys, but this is not the right one, but you guys can have a look. This is just like Salesforce product and packaging guide. So it's not really helpful. So it's okay. We're just going to, actually, I think we can download it from here as well. Yeah, this is what I need. Sorry, this is what I need. If I, 1 second. So if I put it here, download. So can I, let me see if I can see. Yeah, this is the one that I'm looking for. So what I'll do is this. I'm just gonna, 1 second, I'm just gonna, I'll bring it up in here so we can see that. So this is better. How do you? Sorry. Okay, yeah, so this is the one that I want. So you guys should go through this documentation, okay? Yeah, this is the one, yeah. So how to sell the right CPQ billing. I'm not gonna bore you with all this verbiage. I'm just gonna quickly tell you what I wanted to tell you guys. So this, like in Salesforce, you have different licenses as well. It's kind of similar in CPQ. So we have all these licenses. So we have a CPQ Plus. So this is what most organizations are using, especially if they want to request for payment from their customers or clients or businesses that they're dealing with, right? However, at the moment, we're limited to CPQ, okay, because we're using a practice org. But some functionalities of CPQ Plus, we might be able to do that. We'll see. But if I scroll down here, you can see the differences, okay? So we have product catalog. Again, I'm not going to bore you with all of this. I'll share this with you guys. You guys can have a look. So you can see the difference. But out there, most businesses are using the CPQ billing and also velocity. So I'm not going to talk too much about velocity now, but it's something that it's coming and it's going to be a big one. So you guys should be, should get ready. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to do too much here. I just wanted to show you guys that we have a CPQ Plus, billing growth, and billing plus. Obviously, there's so many things in terms of comparison that I don't want to go through right now. Like this advanced approvals, we might be able to do some advanced approvals or maybe some approvals with the org that we have right now, but we cannot do any billing. I know that we cannot do any billing. Okay, so let me share. Actually, you guys can download this from this page, right? So you can just go to that page. So where is the page now? So 1 second. No, that's not what I need. Oh. Yeah, so if you guys go on this page, I'm just going to copy and paste for you guys to see. Then just scroll down, okay? So once you're on this page, scroll down, download the full version, and then you can read all of that, okay? The differences between the licenses and stuff like that. So let's go back to our org and see what's going on in there, okay? Okay, so to get into your installed packages, you guys should go into, actually, before we do that, before we do that, the pre-installation steps, we need to do that as well, right? Pre-installation step, very important. So the first one is we want to enable content management. So I think that is in, that should be in that one, I think. Yeah, that's the one. So you want to enable Salesforce CRM content. Okay, so click on that. Sometimes it's already enabled, so that's good. So enable Salesforce CRM. Okay, so that's already enabled. That's fine. Actually, before I do that, let me just check real quick. If I go to, I just want to check something real quick. I'll come back and explain to you as well. But so I just want to make sure that our package is fine. Oh, what happened? Okay, so our package did not get installed. So what page is this? I don't need that. 1 second. So it shouldn't take that long. So you receive an email. So let me check email. There's no email yet. Okay. That's fine. Let's do our pre-installation step. I was going to show you guys something. So CRM content, that's fine. So just make sure this is enabled. So this is what I told you guys, right? Sometimes it will be already enabled. So I'll just save that again, just to be on the safe side. So if we go to enable email deliverability. So if we go to, where is our email? Let me just collapse these guys here. So yeah, that's email. So what we want to do is, second, so email deliverability settings. No, we need the deliverability. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So again, we want to do the access level. So this is all we need here. Okay. So again, this is good. This is what we want. It should be set on all email. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm not tampering with that. So you guys can also do, actually don't change anything. Don't change it. So this is all we need here. Okay. So don't change anything here. I'm going to save it just to be on the safe side. Okay. So next is we want to enable, what's that one? We want to enable order, right? So if I just collapse this, that one should be in feature settings, I think. Where is our feature settings? So if we go to feature settings, and it should be under sales, yeah. So we want to do order settings. Order settings. So far, all we needed, so enable order, so that's fine. So this is okay. You can enable these guys as well if you like. It's not gonna, but don't enable all this or just this like just this first four. Okay, leave these guys as they are. Okay, but if you want to play around with that, that's fine. But for now, the most important stuff here is to enable others. Okay, again, I'm gonna save it because I just want to make sure that it's good. So chatter settings. Yeah, that's good. So that's enabled by it's already enabled. So all we needed to do was good. So let's just go back here. That shouldn't take too long. I'm just curious why it's taking so long. But anyway, so if I just refresh this page, hopefully I didn't install in another org. So let me just check. Where is it? No, I'll close this one. Oh, this is no, you guys don't need that one. I'll close this one. I just want to, where is this stuff here? Did I close that install? Anyway, that's not too much of a problem. So that shouldn't take that long to install usually. But anyway, you know what we're going to do while we're waiting for days to show up? What I can do again is I'll just go back to this site. I'll just try. It should tell me that installation in progress or something. I just wanted to check something. So we're going to say, remind me later. I don't need to do that. I just want to see if it's going to say, oh, yeah, look, we have an email. Look, can you guys see that? This is the longest it's taken for me though. Like, so you guys can see that email, right? I was starting to get worried, like, what's going on? It doesn't take that long. Okay. But anyway, let's refresh this page. Let's refresh. Good. Awesome. That's what we want. That's what I want to see. So, so you guys we've already talked about, the licenses. Okay. So now this is pretty much something else that I wanted to show you guys. So when you install that CPQ managed package, so you also, don't worry guys. So if you're looking for something, you can just type it in here as well. Okay. So you guys already know that. So if you type install packages, so it's just going to show up like that. Okay. So sometimes it's the way I'm wired, right? You see me like going through all of this. It's just me trying to, remember everything, right? But don't worry too much about that. You can just type it in here and you'll find what you're looking for. So in Salesforce custom field, we have something like price__C. So I think I have that in the note as well. Yeah, so CPQ object versus Salesforce standard objects, right? So you're gonna see SDQQ, okay? So if I go back here, name prefix, this is what I'm looking for. So name prefix, okay? Namespace prefix. So anytime you install a managed package, it's going to have a namespace prefix. And the one we have for CPQ is SBQQ. Please don't ask me what it is. It's just like a name prefix. It's just what Salesforce uses for their name prefix for CPQ. Okay, so that's the name prefix, and basically a name space is 1 to 15 character, like an alphanumeric identifier. And what it does is it distinguishes your package and its content from other packages in your org. Okay, so you're gonna see like Avalara, they're gonna have Avatags, Ava OMS, and things like that. So a namespace is assigned to a package at the time that is created, and it cannot be changed. So just so you know that, okay? An example of namespace prefix you might come across in real time is something like OIQ, and that is for Sales Insight. And we have SSOT. For Salesforce Standard Data Model, we have Ava OMS. For Avatags, we have all this kind of stuff, right? So just go to the package installation and you will see the packet namespace prefix. Okay, so that's what you see right there. So if I go to quickly go back here. So if you're getting confused, please don't. Okay, this is what I want to show you guys. This is good. So now if I go to my object manager, you guys already know object manager, so it's not really like a big deal or something. Okay, so this is an example of a CPQ object, okay? So anytime you see SBQQ, so if I type in SBQQ here, so, okay, so if I go to, 1 second, if I go to our schema builder, so that is how you identify. You already know that a custom object would have like __C and nothing for a standard object, right? So if I type in SBQQ here, why is it not showing? So it should show some stuff. Yeah, this should actually show some stuff. Okay. Yeah, try again. You guys can try in your org. Like I have another org. Like if I type in SBQQ here, it's going to show all of that. Maybe it's still kind of loading or something, right? But anyway, let's not waste too much time on that. So yeah, so these are examples of Salesforce CPQ products. Okay, so yeah, it should still show. Yeah, if I even I tried this earlier. And maybe so let's just say, let me see, there's some SBQQ. Yeah, it's not even here. 1 second. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry too much about this. I think I have another org that it kind of shows. So okay, so now if I'm looking for this, so I know that I think there is a setting. So I have another org that actually shows the API name. So in that org, instead of showing additional document, it's gonna show actually 1 second. Okay. Maybe I have a different settings in that org. So instead of showing additional document, it's going to show SBQQ underscore additional document underscore C and things like that, right? But again, don't worry too much. I prefer that one though, because it gives me that option. Like I can easily tell, like, oh, this is a CPQ product object or something, right? Object, not product. Okay, but don't worry. Or probably it's the other org that does that. Maybe not this one that comes with steel brick. Maybe it's the other org, right? So maybe. All right. What else do I want to show you guys? So you guys already know the difference. So if I go back to here, so make sure, like I said, so if you want to configure the CPQ manage package, actually, you know what I want to do, guys? Sorry about this. I want to see if I can show you some differences. So if I just do this as well, let's just do this real quick. I want to check something here. So this is okay, it's asking for my name. I don't need that anymore. So this time around, I'm just going to say all at what's the one that I used the other time. So sorry, I'll just use 2 or something. 2. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say sign me up. Probably might say that, oh, you already have an email or something. I just wanted to check something real quick. So basically, after that installation, you will get like an email from CPQ. So again, remember, ensure that the prerequisites are already checked. And when we check, we notice that all of them were already enabled, so we didn't really have to do much, right? So, okay, please check your email. Please check your email. No, that's the other one. So that's the so let me just refresh. But again, where is this stuff? Yeah, so I'll come back. It's okay, don't worry. Let's just proceed. I'll come back to that. I just wanted to check that SBQQ stuff. Like, I just wanted to see if that's one of the differences between the orgs, right? But that's okay. So if we go to, so yeah, configure. Okay. So if I click on configure, so do you guys know how to get here? Okay. So just type in. So if I'm on the home page, okay, type in install and it's going to take you to your install packages. You guys are experienced anyway, so I'm not going to be talking about this kind of stuff. So unless you're not sure, then you can ask me. Okay. I want to focus more on CPQ. So click on configure. Okay. And remember that you need to install this in the sandbox. Okay. So once and once you're done with all the development activities and settings in the sandbox, then you can take out the configuration or code or whatever it is you've done and send it to your deployment. Right. Again, this is technical stuff. You might not be doing this in real time, so don't worry too much about that. But before doing the deployment, you need to install the managed packages with the managed packages settings. So, and this is how, like I show you how it's done in real time. Okay. So do not install the managed package directly in production. Like I mentioned earlier, everything should be deployed from the sandbox. Okay. So once installed in the sandbox and it's working, that's fine. Okay. And then, it's free. One thing is as well that I wanted to mention that it's free once it's in the sandbox. Okay, it's gonna be like a trial. Yeah, I'm talking about real time. I'm not talking about the one that we're doing right now. Well, one second. Let me just go back to that one. Did we get an email yet? No, not yet. Yeah. So when it's in the sandbox, it's free. Okay. I think there's a trial of um 30 days or something. I can, or 10 or 30 days or something like that. Okay. So basically the Salesforce charges start once installed in production and it will, and when it becomes active. Okay. So that's when they start charging. So as long as you have it in the sandbox, actually, I don't think there is a number of days. I think it's just going to be a trial version. Okay. But once you start using it in the production and you get it in real time. Okay. I'm talking about real time right now. So Salesforce rep will call within 24 to 48 hours and they will call the executive, whoever is in your company that signed the SOW, which is the statement of work. And at that time, the status will change. So the point where they're calling that executive in your company, right? The status will change from trial to active. Okay. And at this point, they will ask questions and come up with the right license for the business, the duration, the fee, the SLA. They're going to start asking all those kind of questions, right? And Well, you may not be expected to know all of these, but these are the things that you can also mention in interviews that will score you some points as well, right? Just so for you to be sure. So I'm just curious why that one again is taking so long. But anyway, that the only thing that I was looking for is that SBQQ. Okay. So right now you can see that the status is active, right? So you can see the status is active, right? So this is because we're using a demo org. So in real time, the status will be trial, but once it's deployed to the production org, then it will become active. Okay. But because we're using like not demo, but we're using like a practice org, if I could say that. And this is actually production org as well. This is not a sandbox. So it's going to be active. Okay. So, so another thing is that we've already seen the pre-installation. Yes, the post-installation. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So how do you do the Salesforce CPQ post installation steps, right? So what you do, you go to install packages and you click on configure. Okay. So once you click on configure, there are steps. If I go to the notes, there are steps that we need to follow that I put that for you guys here. So we want to authorize new calculation service. We want to execute scripts. We want to enable the quantity scales. We want to change the quantity scales. We want to change the unit price scale. And also, this is very important as well. Although, if you don't do this at some point in time, you will figure it out that, oh, this is missing, and let me go back and do it. Okay. But basically, you got to change the standard object layout assignments for product, account, opportunity, order, and contract. Okay. So we got to do all of these as well. So these are the post-installation steps. So if I go to now we're on the configure page, right? So if I go to I think the first one we're doing is what's that one again? Pricing calculation. Yeah. Sorry. So before we do that, there's something else. So 1 second. So one thing about this post-installation steps that we're doing is I want you guys to think in the way that if you bought a phone or a camera, then you have the camera settings, you have the phone settings, right? So we're kind of doing, excuse me, similar things here, okay? And here it's called the CPQ settings, all right? So it consists of a lot of things, but we're gonna go through that one at a time. So you go and then one other thing is that we need to do this because some of the key APIs, yeah, this is something that I remember that I wanted to mention as well. So the reason that we're actually doing this, hold on a second, please. Yeah. So the reason that we're actually doing this is that some of the key APIs are still held with SteelBrick. I feel that by the day, I keep seeing some developments in CPQ, right? But some of the APIs, they're still kind of held with SteelBrick CPQ. So they're controlled by SteelBrick CPQ. So API means the application program interface, which kind of connects to system. So we have some formula calculation under pricing and discounting that we're going to fetch from SteelBrick to Salesforce. When I say fetch, that we're going to connect or making use of API, nothing crazy. It's just clicking, right? But whatever we're clicking, it's actually invoking some APIs behind the scene, okay? And basically, we're kind of connecting those missing pieces, puzzles from SteelBrick into Salesforce. So that's some of the things that we're doing with the post-installation steps. So and you guys already know that Salesforce acquired SteelBrick in 2015. SteelBrick used to be a quote-to-cash software. So you will hear SteelBrick sometimes. Just make note of that. So these are part of the things that you can, stamp your authority on, or you can talk about on the subject during an interview and things like that, right? So let's just say that if I, 1 second, so yeah, that's the one. Okay, so this is one of the steps, but the first one is 1 second. I think I missed that first one. Authorize. Yeah, so the first one is authorize new calculation service. So authorize new calculation service. So it should be on this page. It should be on the pricing and calculation page. So that this is for the next one. So I'm kind of jumping ahead of things right now. So we should be on this page. So now, if I just quickly do this, okay, so that's good. So that's probably being taken care of right now. So that's good. So usually you're gonna see something like just below here, just below use legacy calculator, you're gonna see something like authorize new calculation service. The thing is, Salesforce keeps improving on the steps, right? So this has been taken out, but I think about 6 to 8 months ago, it used to be there. Like you just gotta click. It's a link. So you just gotta click on that link, and it's gonna do that steps for you. And once it's done, it's gonna disappear from this page. So you can only do that one time only. So once it's done, it's gonna disappear on this page. You're not gonna see it on this page again. So it looks like that has been taken care of. So that's good. So the next one is we want to do the execute scripts. Yeah. So for that one, we go to the additional settings. So the execute scripts is what does it really mean? So what you want to ensure is that the post installation steps, it's showing as completed. Okay. So if we look here right now, you guys can see again, this has been done for us. Okay. So what you're looking for on this page is you want to see completed. You want to see completed. Okay. But this has been done for us. So that's good. So, but if you're not sure, you can just click on execute scripts. Otherwise, your org is not going to work. Okay. So pay attention to the message here. As sometimes it will show as failed. So sometimes you would see fail here. Okay. So if you ever see a failed message here, then you need to click on the execute script. Okay. Basically, the rule of thumb here is that whenever you see status, any other status than completed, then click on execute. But right now, we can see the completed, so we're not gonna do anything, okay? Because that's good, okay? And the question is, why do we need to execute the scripts, right? So most of the things that we do in CPQ is mostly configuration. Like I told you, you guys are going to see a lot of configuration. Okay. So in general, we're not doing any customization, or we're not writing any code or anything like that. Right. So basically, all we're doing is drag and drop, click, 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 and things like that. Right. So, and all we're doing is logic. That's whatever we're doing as part of that configuration, it's a logic behind the scene. So in the back end, we have like price rules, discount schedules, and things like that, right? So these things are written in a logical way. So we're using, this is why I like Salesforce, right? The hard work has been done. We just have an interface for us to work on, right? So these logics are written in the back end, and those logics will be converted into some sort of raw data behind the scenes. Okay. So for example, this can be formulas. It can be coding that we can't see because it's running in the background. So basically in real time, you're working in Sandbox, right? But you will need to migrate your Sandbox data to the production data, right? So basically, you're migrating from low-end environment to a high-end environment. So this is a general cycle that you're gonna see in this if you're working in this space. So your work in the sandbox gets pushed to the production org. Okay. Sometimes due to some network issues or a bad code or something like that, this might have an impact on the deployment as well. So this script right here will show an error here. Okay. So you will see an error. So ensure that this, so let's say something went wrong in the org, right? Sometimes the way people troubleshoot is they want to come here, oh, something failed in the back end, right? Why did it fail? Maybe there was a server shutdown in between or network or whatever it is, right? So you will just click on execute script. So automatically it's going to execute all the available scripts and it's going to come back and tell you if it's completed. Most of the time it's going to be completed anyway. I think I might have seen fail once or maybe twice, but most of the time you will see completed. Okay. So let's say one of the reasons that it might fail is, let's say we have many users in the same org and working on a very big project, right? And let's say there are many. And another thing that happens in real time is most of the time you don't work on one project by yourself. Most of the time you're working within a group, right? So you're gonna get a chunk of that project. Another person is gonna get a chunk, right? So if like 5 or 6 or 7 people are working on configurations, different configurations at the same time, right? So we're gonna have so many processes running in the back end at the same time, and it's gonna run slow, and it can result in sometimes what is called an unknown error, right? And that unknown error is unknown to you, but it's something logical behind the scene. And before you can actually resolve those errors, you will need to click on the execute script here. Okay. So, and again, you may not see such error unless if you're working on a big project. Like I said, I might have seen it maybe once or twice. It's not very common, so that's good. So you might see error like a CPO runtime error, and then bear in mind that whatever error you get in CPQ will have a meaningful definition as well. Okay, so by reading the error itself, you will know what it's saying. So let's say in a situation where the error is not specific, then let's say you have like a runtime error, right? So to resolve that, you can just click on the execute script, and if that did not resolve it, right, then you can raise a ticket with Salesforce support team and they will hop in to rectify the issue, right? So I might try to show you some errors in the coming sessions as well. So whenever you click on that execute script, it will reset whatever API or code running in the background. Okay, so just like so let's say the mic on your computer is not working, right? And you have tried few things and it's still not working. So you can just reboot or reset the system. So that is pretty much the same thing that we're doing here. Okay. So that's good. So again, some of the things that we need to do, it's already been done for us. So that's good. So quantity scale. So quantity scale, that should also be on this page. Yeah. Yeah. That should be on this page. Yeah. So basically, with the quantity scale, it depends on the nature of the business we're dealing with. Okay. So don't worry, guys. Today is going to be about like intro and, getting used to all these things. It's going to be a bit boring today because we're not doing a lot of configuration and stuff like that. But from tomorrow, we're going to start some configuration in the org, right? Or if I can quickly go through this, we might still be able to do 1 or 2 things before before our time runs out. Okay. So, but this is very important. Okay. Very, very important. So the pre-installation and the post-installation steps are very important. You still need to check, even though there is a chance that your org is going to be already configured the way you want it to be, but you still need to check. Otherwise, your configuration is not going to work. And guess what? It's going to give you a headache because you're not going to know where to look because now you have like 10 odd things missing and you're just going to have to go through one at a time, right? So basically the quantity scale depends on the nature of the business that we're dealing with, right? So it's nothing too crazy. So basically, two means two decimal places, and if we put like 3 or 4 or something, so we're just saying like 4 decimal places, right? So the quantity scale will be provided to you by the business or the project you're working on. Okay, so let me give you an example of this, right? So if you want to buy a laptop and then you say that you want to buy 2.05, right? Or 2.008. So if we make it 2 decimal places, then it's probably gonna round it up to 2.05 or round it down to 2.05, right? But if we make it like 3 decimal places, then you might have something like 0.008, right? You know that doesn't really make sense. So most organizations would probably leave it at 2, right? But it's gonna depend on the business that you're working on and the project that you're working on. Okay, so that is why, like I said, the setting depends on the type of business you're dealing with. So if you want to purchase, again, there is another good example. Okay, so let's say you want to buy like some chemical products, right? So these can be measured in we cannot use decimals for this, right? So we can say, for example, of course it can be measured, we can use decimal, but what I'm trying to say is we can purchase something like 10.005 liters, right? So that is basically the quantity of the item, right? So it kind of makes sense to go with whatever the business is asking you to do with their business. So I think for this one, for now, I'm gonna take it out. Again, we're gonna be working on some projects, so there's a likelihood that we might come back and change it at any point in time. But I think I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna take it out. I will save that. Okay. The next one is, I believe, the unit price. Yeah, unit price scale. So that should also be on that same page. One second, if I go back. No, that should be on in pricing and calculation. So the unit price scale should be in pricing. Yeah, in pricing and calculation. So what is this? So for every product, there is a price. So without the price, we cannot create a product in the first instance, right? So how many decimal places do we want to show in the price? So for example, if the price of the product is $5.55, and we set the unit price as price scale as 1, right? Then the price would show as 5.5. Actually, this is the one that I was explaining. The other one is for like scale. Like when I was using the chemical example, that is more of the other one. This is more of the price. Yeah. So this is going to show, for example, if you set the price scale as 1, right, then you're going to have something like 5.5. And then, and for example, if you set the unit price scale as 2, the product price will display as a 5.55 or something like that, right? So it's like, it's kind of like the quantity scale that I just talked about, but this is just related to price only. That one is just related to quantity, right? So, and things like that. So for this one, I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to save it. So, and yeah, we're still in the CPQ post installation steps as a reminder. So it is important that you ensure that you're creating, if you're ever creating any number or currency or percent field data type, this field should kind of reflect what you have set at the unit price scale as well. So, for example, you want to make it 2, okay? So because this is going to reflect in, for example, your number data type, it's going to reflect in your currency data type. Whatever you set in here, right? It's going to reflect in your currency data type as well as your percent field data type, okay? So as a best practice, whatever package level unit scales you have, keep the same when creating the custom fields as well. Otherwise, it could result in some confusion later. So let's say we want to create a number custom field right now, and in our configure page right here, we already made our scale 2, right? And then we're creating a number field data type, and then we put in 1, right? Both of them, they're going to clash with each other because we're probably going to get an error when you're trying to save that, because it's expecting 2 decimal places, but you put 1 there. Okay. So if I can show you an example of that, but hopefully you understand that as well. So now, I think we're done. Let me just check. Oh yeah. Standard object. Oh yeah. So to create a product, if I go back to, okay, let me just check something here real quick. Did we? Oh yeah, we got an email. Good, we got that email. Wow, why does it take so long? Why does it take that long? So I just wanted to check something, guys. So verify account, verify. What is that password again? Okay, so what should I pick this time around? Okay, let me just keep it the same, just so I don't get. Let's just keep it the same. So change password, right? We should have this in. It's not okay. It's not there. Don't worry. I'll add it later. So where is this page? All right. So if I go to Object Manager, if I go to Schema Builder, I'm pretty sure I've seen something like this. I'm going to close out of this anyway. We can continue with the other one, but I just wanted to check. Oh, okay. It's the same. All right. I might have a settings in my other org that is giving me that, but it's okay. Okay. I'll check what the settings is, okay? Because in my other org, I can see the SBQQQ, all this SBQQ. I'll see if I can find out why I have that there and not in this org. But that's fine. I'm just going to close this for now. I think we're pretty much done. Oh yeah, one more. We're not done. We're done with this part of the configuration, but we need the page layouts as well. So if I just close this, okay, that's fine. So to create a product, if I go to, so now what I'm going to do is, let me just do this. Where is our CPQ? So I'm going to bring this to the top. Which one do I need? So, okay, I like to keep it in this order, but okay, yeah, I like to keep it this, this and this. Yeah, that's good. That's fine for me anyway. So now, if we go to Salesforce CPQ, right? If we go to this Salesforce CPQ, maybe this has been done for us again. I don't know, but let's have a look and see. So click on products, and new. Okay. So this is so if you don't change the page layout assignments, this is what you're gonna get. So this is Salesforce out of the box layout. Okay. Again, 1 second. Let me just see if this one has been pre-configured for us. So if I just it's already. So if I go to wait, yeah, which one is this? No, that's still the same one. Okay, I'll do that at the end of the class. That's fine. Don't worry. So if I go back, okay, so now what is the problem here? We're going to have a lot of problem here because we're using Salesforce out of the box page layout. So what we want to do as part of our post installation steps is you can type in product in here. So product is too many. So open product. Okay. You guys already know this, so I might just do this. Okay, I'll just be quick. So, sorry, not field and relationship, page layout. All right, so we have product layout and we have a CPQ product layout. So this currently, this is what we see. So we want to change it to this one, okay? And we need to do the same for product, account, opportunity, other, and contract, okay? Otherwise, we're not going to be able to use CPQ. So if I just do page layout assignment, and if I want to edit this assignment, so for now, I'll just give it to the system admin only, so CPQ, right? So we do the same, right? Is that good? Is that good? Good, good. Okay, yep. So now if I go back, cancel, refresh, you guys know sometimes Salesforce takes its time for these things to kick in, but that shouldn't take too long. Okay, good. So you guys can see the difference, right? So this is what we need. This is what we need, okay? So in real time, you might see some billing fields as well. Like, I was talking about that license with the billing and stuff like that. You might see some stuff in real time, but it's okay. Don't worry about billing because we don't have access to that right now. But yeah, so this is what we need. So quickly, we got to do for account. What's the other one? Opportunity, order, and contract, okay? So if I do contract, and yeah, CPQ is easy, guys. Well, it's easy so far, but it's okay. You guys are gonna be fine. What's the other one? Order, right? Order, and I think it's about 5 in total. Let me just check. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's good. So account, page layout. So you guys know this stuff. So I'm not gonna be explaining much of what I'm doing here, okay? Because you guys already know this stuff. Okay, so we want to use CPQ opportunity layout. Again, you guys see if I go to opportunities, and we're not really going to be using opportunities anyway, but this is what we have, right? So we got to change these to, I hope I used the system administrator the last time. So CPQ opportunity layout. Yeah, that's good. Again, this edit. Sorry, guys. So sometimes this is what I do, and I end up crashing the system because I'm trying to be so fast, right? I thought we opened 4. Oh yeah, order. Yeah, this one right here, page layout. So I'll go back here. So CPQ opportunity layout, that's good. Where is system admin? CPQ contract layout, that's good. Edit. System admin, CPQ account layout. Yeah, that's good. That's it. That's the post installation done. So CPQ, oops, I didn't select that one. So yep, that's good. That's good. Okay, so that is the end of our post installation. So so now what happens is we're now going to be able to see actually, I should have showed you guys that. So you guys can see that you're not going to be able to see some related tabs in CPQ. I should have shown you guys that, right? So if we were using the old page layout, CPQ has a lot of related tabs that we're going to be missing out on. So that's why you cannot use CPQ if you don't change those page layouts, okay? So this is done as well. So I'll just leave this on this for now. I can close this. Then, okay, good. So now moving on in our training, we got to start looking at products, okay? So one thing so I mentioned earlier that I was able to transfer some of my CPQ skills into the Commerce Cloud environment. In Commerce Cloud, what is Commerce Cloud about? It's about products. It's about Nike. It's about Adidas. They're selling products, right? So if you actually look at it, a lot of skills that you gain in CPQ, they are transferable to Commerce Cloud and possibly some other clouds as well, even Sales Cloud, right? So what is product? I think I have a note here. So Products are the individual items that you sell on your opportunities and quotes, right? So we talked about this as well during our sales admin and consulting class. So this is the entity you're offering to your customer. So the entity you're selling to your customer. So this could be a car, a mobile phone, a laptop. It could be anything, right? So that is basically what that is. And then we have types of products offered by Salesforce CPQ. 1 second, please. We have the standalone product. We have the bundled product. Um, we have the option product or component. You're gonna sometimes hear component as well. Okay, we have the hybrid product and we have the subscription based product. Also, we have MDQ, right? But it's okay, I'll talk about that. So MDQ is multi-dimensional quoting. So the MDQ is a different concept totally. So in order for you to understand MDQ, you need to understand normal product, pricing structure, subscription product, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the MDQ product configuration in a separate session so it will not confuse you, okay? So you need to understand certain things in CPQ. Otherwise, you're going to get confused with MDQ. But after explaining the pricing structure, the product, the subscription products, and the likes, then MDQ will make sense to you, okay? So basically, MDQ is tied to long-term subscription products. So for example, let's say you provide a firewall security system, right? And a big company approaches you for best security package according to your requirements. And then you gave them a package for a price per year, and the business is asking that they want to go with you for a longer term, like 3 years or something like that. Now, that company, right, they might or most likely will expect a discount because they're going on a longer term contract, right? So this is where you start to see MDQ. We're going to have an example of that, okay? So let's say a yearly package of 10 licenses will cost 20,000, right? And the second year, the company expects 10% discount. And the third year, they want another 5% discount in a single quote, right? So obviously you may not know this yet, right? But in a single quote, you have start date and end date. We're going to see all of that. How do we track all this 3-year agreement in a single quote, right? We achieve this using MDQ. So MDQ is another product type. Just remember that, okay? And then we also have what is called user-based product. This is another type of product. So that requires like a billing plus license, like I mentioned. So I'm not going to be able to show you user-based product because it requires a billing plus license. And we do not have that in our org for now. So we're not able to see that. So because we got a paid org for that. Quickly, let me explain standalone product, okay? Just like its name, right? It's an example of a standalone product is, let's say, a computer manufacturer, and they kind of manufacture like a desktop bundle, right? And monitors and keyboards and things like that. And now, let's say you want to purchase a desktop computer and you're trying to purchase a processor on its own. They will say we cannot provide you with a processor because it comes as a bundle, right? So the desktop here is a bundle product. So when you purchase a desktop, you get everything. So standalone product means a product that can be sold independently. Okay. Example is a mouse. So if you say that you want to buy a CPU only, what can you do with a CPU only? Nothing really, right? So they will more than likely not sell a CPQ as a standalone product. But if you want CPQ then you will be asked to purchase the bundle, and then you get the sorry, not CPQ, CPU. Sorry, why am I saying CPQ? So you get a CPU as part of the bundle, but you could purchase a keyboard as an example, as an independent product, right? So there is no dependency for a standalone product. So that is why they are called a standalone product. Then we have a bundle product. So what is a bundle product? A bundle product is a group of products that is sold under one umbrella. Okay. For example, we can sell a desktop bundle that consists of other products within the same bundle. So anytime you guys gonna see that, don't worry. Okay. It's just that you need to understand this first. And then once we start going into the org, you're going to be like, wow, it's so easy. This stuff is so easy. But sometimes when you're talking about it, it feels like, oh my goodness, what's this? What's this? Right. But it's easy. Don't worry. You guys are going to be so good with CPQ. So basically, anytime you select or we mention a bundle product, then you can expect a bundle product to have multiple products inside the main bundle product. Okay, so you will see these again when we start working in the org. And then we have the option product or component. So we cannot sell this product independently. So for example, if you go to a car showroom and you say that you want to buy only the car engine, right? They will think that you're going crazy because they cannot sell you the vehicle engine on its own. So, so this is an example of a component, okay? And then we have the hybrid as well. So I already explained MDQ. So we have the hybrid as well. So the hybrid can be sold as a standalone or as a bundle. For example, a keyboard, right? So we can sell a keyboard as a standalone product. We can also sell a keyboard as part of a bundle product, right? So it can be sold as any of those guys, like standalone or bundle and things like that. So that is why it's called the hybrid product. And then we have these subscription-based products. So these are products which has price plus tenure, like for example, you have Amazon Prime. You have like your car insurance, you have things like Netflix and things like that, right? So for example, your cable subscription, your internet subscription, all these things, right? Even Microsoft Office has a subscription-based products nowadays, right? So we're gonna start some practice in the org, okay? So I think I'm gonna come back to all of this, but I will probably talk about it at some point in time. That is why I have it there, okay? So, but we're gonna start some practice in the org. So so for now, let's try to create a standalone product, okay? So one thing that I wanted to do is I want to take my time to explain, and I will do that because that is very important. That is part of CPQ, okay? So one thing about CPQ as well is actually, let me get out of this page and go to this page, okay? What you guys really need to know in CPQ is all these fields. That's it. As once you guys understand, when do I need to do configure code pattern? When do I need to do cost edit? So all your requirements in real time, not all, like most of your requirements is all around this field. That is why I said CPQ is easy. The thing though is sometimes it's a lot of information. And then you get a requirement and you're like, oh, how do I do this in CPQ? So this is why I'm going to try to create like a cheat sheet, like something you can always refer to when you get a requirement and you'd be like, oh, I have an idea how to do this, right? So this is what CPQ is all about. So I'm going to try as much as possible to explain most of the key fields, right? Especially in product. Okay, I'm going to try as much as possible. I might not go through all of them, but the key ones that you're going to find out there, I will do my best to, try as much as possible for you guys to understand that. So quickly, let's try to create a standalone product. Okay. So it's easy, right? All you just do is product new, right? So we can call this. So you give it a name. In real time, you're not going to be creating product like this. You're going to be data loading. Okay. Now, data loading product into the org it's very tricky because now you have the price book and then you have the price book entry, right? And the price book entry is a junction object. So it's gonna be tricky in real time, but if you can get it one time only, then going forward is gonna be easy, okay? And some of you guys might have done that as well. I'm just saying. I know we have a lot of professionals in the house anyway, so even though I'm still kind of going over all this stuff, but I know you guys are really, really good. Okay. So this is nothing. What I'm doing is nothing. I'm just telling you how to create a product. So I'm just going to do WM. So we want to have a product code and we want to say active. So for now, I'm going to leave it as this. Okay. We don't have anything here. So for now, we just want to create a standalone product. Okay. So in real time, the client will provide you with the product details. So you don't just make things up. Remember that. You guys already know that. So in an agile environment, you will get these details from the user story. So the product owner and the subject matter expert will take all the stories to be completed in a particular sprint. And as a CPQ admin or a CPQ consultant or a developer, you will be assigned the task to create XYZ number of products, and you will be provided with all the required information to create this product. So I mean, like the field, so you get this in form of a user story or in form of a product handbook. Okay. Okay. Now it takes me back to product handbook. Okay. So what is a product handbook? So it is basically nothing but an Excel sheet. So you got to get this a lot. Okay. Which has all the information. I think what I'll do is before tomorrow, I'll try if I get a time to come up with some product handbook. Okay. It's nothing but basically like an Excel spreadsheet, which has all the product information. And then you get to refer to the product handbook when you are creating these products. Okay. So very important. So if I just go back to, so again, very important. Yeah, this is an examination question, and this is also an interview question, or this is something that you might need to understand. Okay. So it is important to make the product active. And I'm going to ask this question at some point in time. It is important to make the product active. Otherwise, the product would not be available for selection. Okay, so the product is not going to be available for selection. So if a customer wants to buy a wireless phone charger and someone forgot to make this active, okay? So let's say I save this as it is right now. When we get to the quote, we're not going to be able to select this product, okay? So it's important to make it active. Otherwise, sometimes we get to say, what's going on? What's going on, right? So, and so what you want to make note of is whenever the product is not visible to you, you should always come and check the active radio button, okay? And like I said, I will explain most of this field. They're all important to know, and it will help you a great deal. So we're out of time, but let me quickly do this, okay? So understanding the function of these fields is part of what makes you a CPQ specialist. Yes, okay? So if I save this for now, then what we want to do is once a product is created, we just created a product, right? So the next step is, again, do not miss this step. Again, if you make it active, but you do not have the price book, again, it's not going to be available for selection. So what you want to do is you want to add standard price. And sorry guys, this is taking a bit longer. So if I say $15, right? Okay, so we're gonna say new. So I'll come back and explain this to you in a moment. So then after you have added the standard price, then you want to go back and add to price book. I don't think we have a price book right now. let me see, what do we have a price book? Okay, so price book. So price book is used to maintain. I'm gonna explain that to you anyway, but let me quickly. We're running out of time. So we're gonna add to price book. Okay, so we don't. So what we want to do is this. So if I go to, so we don't have that up here. Okay, so what you want to do is actually, let me use another screen for now. I want to keep that screen. So if I say uh, price book. Okay, so we're gonna create new. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call this custom price list. Okay, I'm gonna make it active. Just say that for now. You can create as many as possible. So I don't want to check that. So I'm just going to say new, save. So if I go back to this page, let me just refresh. So go back to related, scroll all the way down. So if we didn't activate our page layout, we're not going to see all of these related tabs, okay? And we're going to be, so all of these are objects as well, okay? So we're going to be working on most of these as well, like configuration attributes, all of these are fonts. So if I say add to price book, yeah, so I want to add to custom price list. Okay, I will explain. Don't worry. So now you guys remember when I was signing up for the org, right? I said that I wanted to select USA. So this is the reason why I selected USA, because the the country that you select, you gotta get a default currency for that. So let's say when you registered, you put Canada, right? You gotta get CAD. If you use United Kingdom, then you gotta get GBP, right? But because like USD is more like a standard price that many people use, then I prefer to use that. And I also wanted to explain that bit as well. So now you have an option. So you can use the standard price, or you can actually change the price. Don't worry, there's something that I want to explain to you guys here, okay? And then we get a close for today. So sorry, there's a lot to learn in CPQ. So I'm gonna make this $25 for now. I will explain to you guys, okay? So here we have the standard price book. Here we have the custom price book, okay? Now you're gonna ask me, what's the difference? So the standard price book is the actual cost as a business, okay? So we cannot sell the product lower than the standard price book. We cannot sell that. Oh, sorry, what's this? So we cannot sell the product lower than the standard price book, okay? And this is the bare minimum. So we do not use the standard price book anywhere. There's nowhere you go in the org that you're gonna see this price. It's always gonna be the custom price that, oh no, I don't want to do that. Go back. I just clicked on that, right? So the custom price is like it's like the list price. So for example, the standard price book is like the price the product was manufactured. It is there for like audit purposes, or it is there for let's say 10 years from now, we want to know how much this product is. We used to manufacture this product like 10 years ago. We can always refer back to this. Otherwise, you always get to see the custom price list. I just named it custom prices, like price list, okay? Depending on the project requirement, they might say, oh, we want a basic price. We want a, what's it called again? Like a premium price or something like that, right? So, and then in order to do that, you need to add that profit margin, right? Because they're going to give you a different price for the custom price, okay? So this is like the profit. So we have the standard price, and then the profit margin, like $10 profit you want to make on that product, right? So please don't get both confused, okay? Understand that the difference between both is very important. So standard price is the bare minimum. The product cannot be sold below that price. And to have profit on the product, we use that custom price list that we wanted to add. Okay, I'm going to explain this and we'll end the class for today. Please bear with me. We have quite a lot. Like I told you, I wanted to do this for 3 weeks, so we have quite a lot to go through. Okay, so when we have the product or the quote, right? The price we see is the custom price. You're not going to see the standard price. Okay, and yeah, so let me just see. Again, I'm going to close with this, okay? I'm going to close with this. Always remember that the product must be active, and always remember to add the standard price and the price book, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to be able to select your product, okay? And then quickly, price book. Did I already? Yeah, okay. So yeah, I already explained the price book, right? So like I said, it's just the price book is a standard Salesforce object, okay? So basically, it's used to maintain the price or the list price of a product. So remember, I told you during our admin consultant training about that as well. So price book is a pricing strategy to focus on a product or focus on a single product to multiple price range and stuff like that. So I'm going to stop there now. So tomorrow we'll start from where we stopped. So let me quickly, I want to encourage you guys to watch the video replay as usual, because it's a lot of information, but with time, you're going to start to understand that, oh, okay, this is what this is, and that is what that is, okay? So you're going to start to understand that. I'm going to close this, and then I'll try to go into this org. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to open the floor for question. Please, just one question per person. And I don't want to extend this class because I do have other commitments as well. So yeah, so I'm going to ask that, keep it really, really, to the point. So ND, please, you can unmute yourself, please. ND, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, I know it's interesting. Hey. And ND, let me see if I can unmute you. So I'm gonna ask you. Okay, I'm gonna ask to unmute. Okay, 1 second. Ask to unmute. I've done that. So try it. Okay. Hi.
Thank you so much. This was a really great class. Thank you so much. So I have one question. For a company that has financial force and is now trying to implement CPQ. I'm seeing there are different types of CPQ. There's the Salesforce CPQ, there's financial force CPQ. I'm confused on what to recommend. In this scenario, what would you say? Would I just go ahead with the Salesforce CPQ, or since we already have a system and I'm seeing in financial force, I'm seeing the option of an add-on, should I go for that instead?
So most of the time, I think maybe tomorrow I might talk about CPQ, Salesforce CPQ Advantage. I don't think I mentioned that, but most of the time, Salesforce, because Salesforce is already like kind of a brand name, right? Most businesses will just opt to keep it Salesforce. So for example, if they're already using Sales Cloud, right? So they might just want to keep it with Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce Marketing Cloud, because it makes the integration seamless, right? It makes it faster and quickly. They can integrate between Salesforce and Sales Cloud of what is that again? Financial service, right? Did you say financial?
So we have Salesforce, we have Sales Cloud, and
okay.
It's integrated into Financial Force, which we also got from Salesforce. I think Salesforce bought that as well. Yeah, but this quoting portion is missing, and what you mentioned about the time, agents not having the flexibility to close quotes and all that on time. So this is why we're going to Salesforce CPQ. But when we go into financial CPQ, it seems like there's some kind of add-on they could do. Salesforce could give us that. But I'm trying to understand that. Is it maybe a different version? Maybe it's not as full as the Salesforce CPQ, or,
Yeah. So the financial CPQ is not as full as the Salesforce CPQ. As far as I know, these are the Salesforce CPQ that is out there, and they're all on the Revenue Cloud. So it might just be that you have that add-on. Maybe that is something for them to also sell the business on CPQ, right? Because now you can see that, oh, I have CPQ, but I am lacking this and I'm not able to get this. So now your business will start considering, okay, why don't we just go with CPQ and billing, or maybe CPQ plus and things like that, right? So I'm guessing that is what they're trying to do with that by just having that add-on. But I don't know what you have with the financial CPQ with Salesforce, because usually it's under the Salesforce Revenue Cloud. I think I also mentioned that earlier as well. But I can have a look and see. Maybe there might, but I don't think there is though. But maybe there might be a tweak around, like something that can help you to get maybe some additional benefits of these billing and stuff like that, right? Maybe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Helen, please. And we'll make it the last question.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, hi, Olu, great class. I just wanted for you to go quickly go through the quantity scale difference with the unit price scale. I mean, you went through it quite quickly, and you mentioned something that confused me. So if you can just re-explain that quickly, that would be greatly appreciated.
Sure. Yeah. One second. I'm just going to launch the org. So you know how to get there, right?
Yes.
So if I go, I'm just going to type it this time around. So sorry, 1 second. So install packages, configure. Additional. Okay. So another thing you can do is, most of the time, okay, it doesn't work in this page. So usually they have like an info icon. So the quantity scale is, I know why you get confused about this. So the quantity scale is, let's say, for example, you have a product, you're selling a phone, a mobile phone is the product, right? If you put in 2 here, right? 2, this is gonna come up in 2 decimal places, but you cannot have 1.5 mobile phone. It's not possible, right? You can only have like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 mobile phones, right? However, some businesses deals with, like, let's say like a gas station, they deal with liters. In their kind of business, they might, in their requirement, they might have asked like, oh, okay, we wanna be able to see how many liters were delivered, right? So, and they want to see all the liters, and they say, oh, we want it in 5 decimal places. So what does that mean? So then you're going to have something like, actually, I can just keep it there. So you're probably going to have something like 5.55555 liters that was delivered, right? But most of the time, we're not going to use this. So we're just going to leave it as blank, because depending on the business requirements, then you got to decide, oh, this is something that we can count, like 1.5, 1.5, 2, 2.5 to 3/4, and things like that, right? So that is the quantity scale. So this unit price scale is more like something like $2.55, right? So the business can say, we want, most of the time it's going to be in 2 decimal places anyway, but the business can say, you know what? Because of the kind of business that we do, we want to have it in 3 decimal places. So then you're going to end up with something like 2.555. Right? Instead of like $2.55. And some companies might say, you know what? We don't even want it at all. We just want to have like $2, $3, $4 or something like that, right? So that's the difference. Do you understand now?
Kind of.
Okay, so you still, okay.
It's okay. So I'll eventually understand it. Thanks.
Yeah. So it's just so the unit price is just something like this. So if we put so let me just go back to here. So this is the unit price scale. So if we put 3 here, okay, So the business is asking that we want to have 3 decimal places after the price, right? So then we're going to have something like $2.2, or I'm just using $2. It doesn't matter. So 2.008. Right? So that's what they're going to have. You're going to see that in the org anyway. So whenever the invoice goes out to the client is going to see 2.008. But obviously, nobody does that, right? I'm just giving an example. So if we make it like 2 decimal places like this for the business, then we're going to have something like 2.05, right? So that's for the unit price scale.
So it's
right?
just a matter of decimals then. That's all.
That is it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
I get
Okay.
it. Thanks.
Sounds good. All right then. Okay, guys. So we're gonna meet again tomorrow. It's been an awesome night. So it's gonna get even more information tomorrow, but it's fun. And see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks everyone. Yeah. And we can stop recording. I guess I can stop it.